Alright, welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review, episode number 121. We're now on part 14 of the dub stuff for, well, basically for the Wano Country arc. We're discussing episodes of the One Piece series, 149 to 156. Mostly put, here is kind of what happens over the course of these, I kid you not, 8 episodes. Yes, 8. So here's what happens. Well, in the case of Zoro, we have a brief thing with him and King, where he is already continuous fight with him, even takes part of his mask, and takes outside, and that's it. Sanji gets some stuff here, where basically Queen is basically hitting with a whole bunch of stuff here, and like at one point knocks so much as breathing to him, like his body becomes weird, and it's suspected that basically the Reitsu is altering his body. And at one point he's looking at himself to fix himself. He gets hit with Queen's sword and it breaks, and he has to run away to figure out what's going on, and that's kind of it. Chopper doesn't do anything at all. Frankie is just limiting some low-level beast pirate thugs. He doesn't really do much anything at all. Jinbei is not seen in these episodes. CP0 is ordered by Rob Lucci, because obviously it's Rob Lucci because of the freaking beard. I knew that was him because I knew Jay Sutherland's voice. Where he's telling the CP0 agents there to go capture Nika Robin, which they try to, and of course Brooke is volunteering to be her bodyguard because she has barely energy. She's only energy to stand and run. She can't do much fighting. And Brooke is doing all the fighting for her because, well, she was nearly exhausted from her fight with Black Maria. And of course, also they're being chased now, not just by the Beast Pirates, but also by CP0. You're thinking, okay. As for Nami, Usopp, and Otama, well, they're running for a while. They pick up basically Kamachi, that's basically Otama's dog, and then Kinemon's legs appear. Yes, first time anybody's seen this is Punk Hazard, where he has no idea. Apparently he's communicating via farts. Yes, farts. So Nami gets attention by tracing the crescent moon tattoo on his rear end. So Usopp basically takes the draft man to go find Kinemon with Kiku to basically figure out who they are. The former Shogun, the one who got beheaded early on, he actually is alive, and he's in hiding. By the way, he's been beheaded now twice, and somehow the man is still alive. And he's like, and he tells basically Kandro to unleash his final order. This weird blob thing burns through floors, you get through explosives. Meanwhile, though, in the case of what goes on with Luffy, well, Luffy after some convincing from Momonosuke, who's basically, by the way, at this point when he's basically the adult Momonosuke, just in dragon form, we don't see his human form just yet. Okay, he has a brand new voice actor because he's in adult form now. He's now voiced by Justin Brenner. You know, the voice of Deku from My Hero Academia. Yep, he officially joined Dubcast. Like, wow, that was something. And after pulling his whiskers for a while, he's like, okay, let's use the clouds to fly up there. And then he proceeds to, like, okay, then go through the castle. Everyone thinking that this is Kaido, but nope, it's not Kaido, because it's pink. And he manages to get to the roof, and then Luffy proceeds to resume his fight with Kaido, and of course Yamato they take that coward down and figure a way to stop Onigashima, which, by the way, I don't think it was a call me out of this. Now, I had difficulty pronouncing this island when this arc was originally coming out. Because I didn't hear the English dub, how people pronounced it. I just saw how it was spelled in the sub. So, now for it's Onigashima. Because that's the name officially of the damn thing. Because I'd never heard much of it anyway. So, there you go. So of course Yamato was teaching Momonosuke how to fly with the clouds with this type of dragon, and his job is simply to move the thing away because it's getting very close to Flower Capital. Yes, very close. And Yamato, after a little bit, teaching him how to do it, he's like, okay, instead of pushing out himself, you gotta move the clouds, and he basically works at doing that. So Yamato proceeds to transform into her beast form, which is basically a giant, beautiful wolf, and runs across the island, going down below, past a bunch of people. She passed by their fight, which we'll talk about in just a minute, and then she just goes down further. There's a brief scene with X Drake and Scratchman, where basically him and his buddy just simply going to leave the island soon because they have no business here. This perfect Scratchman basically is somebody who Kid hates because he basically goes, you were subordinate of Kaido all along. So meanwhile, though, they're in a fight, and we have also a fight between Trafalgar Law and Kid versus Big Mom. Kid, of course, basically starts getting injured, completely random, but it turns out this is now about Basil Hawkins. Yep, and he's confronting Killer. And this fight is settled in one episode. It's like, okay, so then he proceeds to get more injured by bashing his own head into a pillar, injuring Kid. So Killer is like, stop, and then he's like, okay, so he asks about the pain thing and and eventually that's what that straw does, and eventually chops off his left arm, because of course when he chopped off that arm, here's the thing, Hawkins felt pain. Now you're probably thinking, how's Hawkins feel pain even though he basically has got Kid's make his straw puppet? Well, simply put, Kid does not have a left arm because that arm was lost during battle with Shanks. Apparently Hawkins forgot about that, and then basically, he destroys the straw dog, that was the last one. And then Kid and Trafalgar Law try a particular move on Big Mom, which they proceed to bury a bunch of debris on her. And I think, is that it? Nope, not it, because she gets right back up afterwards and I've never felt this pain in 20 years. Was there anything else? No, I think that's it, because the top apartments are pretty much all done. Oh, well, there's one other thing. Basically, there was one point that Sulong gets worn off with Cat Viper and Dogstorm, though it does come back thanks to what goes on between Luffy and Kaido. So, basically, Dogstorm defeats Jack, and Cat Viper proceeds to beat Sparrow really easily because he's that weak against them. And that's pretty much all that happens over the course of 8 episodes. It is by far really good here, getting really exciting here, but we have to hold off on basically watching more because I got a couple more anime, I got a few anime to watch. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is Reborn as a Vending Machine. Okay, next video. Bye.